so anxious when I go to other people's live events. I'm like, when are they coming? When are they going to show up? Where are they going to be? So I decided to stop waiting and just to show up for you guys. So today we're going to talk about meal planning. I'll wait for a couple of folks to get on, but for the people who are watching the replay, hello, I'm Tina. And so today there's this interesting thing going on outside my house. Let me see if I can switch this around. No, it won't let me switch the camera now. Oh, there it is. Sorry. So outside, you see that. Hi, Sheena. I'm showing you. This is outside my room right now. They are redoing the sewers at our house. They're putting in some kind of lining. And that means that we have running water today, but we do not have use of our sewer today, which is a very kind of unusual problem. Hi. I don't remember your daughter's name, Sheena, but hello, Sheena's daughter. So that's going on today. That noise is going, and there may be some other weird noises happening today, but we'll see. So today, let me double check to see what time it is. And all right, so it's exactly 12. I feel like I can start talking. So Joel and I met when we were in school. Gosh, we were in school forever ago. We met in 1999 is when we met, and we were just friends for the first year or so. And the funny thing was the thing that we would do for fun would be go to the grocery store. In Texas, they have these humongous grocery stores. The produce section of the place where we would go grocery shopping was bigger than any grocery store I'd ever been in before, and that was just the produce. So for fun, on the weekends, we'd be like, hey, let's go to the grocery store and see what's there. And we would go and look around at all this stuff. So I guess that's the kind of people we are. And when we got married, I remember one of the first times we went to the grocery store, we went to a smaller store, and I was like going around like, oh, this is on sale, that's on sale, and this is on sale. Oh, and I have a coupon for this. And we came home and I had all of this food, but no meals. There was everything is bigger in Texas. So I had all of this food, and I felt like I got a really good deal on it, and didn't pay a lot of money. But there were no meals in it. It was just bits and pieces of things, and so like almost right from the beginning, we started meal planning, and that really helped because it got us into a place where like, okay, so we have stuff. And we're not just buying vegetables and then throwing them out after a week because we forgot to eat them, though that does still happen occasionally. So we've been meal planning now for 17 years, probably, just about 17 years. And the thing that I wanted to share is because we've meal planned through thick and thin as far as budget. And we try to spend around $100 a week for a family of 3. And that includes meat for dinner, and it includes fresh vegetables. So I don't think you can do that by chance. So I've kind of gone through what we've done over the years, and I've added it to our system. So part of the reason why I think that it's important to do meal planning is so that it allows you to enjoy your family. So you save time. You're not going to the grocery store every day. You're saving money because you're not going to the grocery store every day, and you're also more relaxed because you're not getting there at 5 o'clock thinking to yourself, what am I going to fix? I have to throw everything together. And instead, you have the ability to say, oh, well, it's morning. I know that we're having this for dinner, and I need to start cooking at this time. And it helps me get to a place where it's not a stressful thing in order to make dinner and to have dinners available. So the system that I use, and this is from, I have my notes on here too, but this is a printable that you can print off of the Plan to Enjoy website, not the website, but from the Facebook group. So my first bit of advice is to pick a week every day, or a day every week that you go. And there are better times to go to the grocery store than others. So I've read this article, there's an article attached with it. The worst time, supposedly, to go to the grocery store is Sunday after church because everybody is at the grocery store on Sunday after church because even those who haven't gone to church are like, oh, brunch is done and I need to get stuff for lunch this week. I better get going. So everybody is there after church on Sunday. I personally, because I have the ability to go on Wednesday during the middle of the day, and it's pretty quiet, though I shop at Aldi for the most part, and there is a steady line of people in there. So I would say within that, you just, whatever day it is, whatever time it is, it has to work with your schedule. So just pick a day. Any day will work, even Sunday after church will work. So, and then before you go to the store, at least a day before you go to the store, take out your calendar. I'm going to pick up my calendar. So, take your calendar and look at what's coming up for the week ahead and say, okay, on my calendar this week, I have those people out there that I've already showed you, the Liquiforce people. I had a program on Tuesday, and everything else is pretty much open. And so I know that I can make lots and lots of different things are open for me because I have the time to make it. That means I can make a bigger meal. I can make a more complicated meal. If it had been just a week full of things that lead right up to it, then I would have had faster meals. I would have had things that were already in the freezer or things that were partially made for me. I just deal with what my schedule is. So once I look at the schedule, then I kind of go through a list of different things in my head, and I keep a whole running list of recipes on Pinterest. And I will talk about that next week. So next week I will discuss Pinterest and how I use that to keep track of what meals I want to make, what meals I have made, which meals did not go over well. I keep track of all of that through Pinterest. It does. Having those quick meals, and you have to know your schedule in order to have those ready. Because if you have, brisket planned and you have 20 minutes to make dinner, that's just not going to work, and you're going to end up scrambling or not eating, and it's not going to be nearly as enjoyable. So once you have an idea of what recipes you want, then you can do, I say, like, shop your pantry to see what you already have, and then shop the sales for your local grocery store. And when we were doing very strict budget, it does turn into a mess. When we were doing a very strict budget, I would get an idea of how much something was going to cost before I left the house, because a lot of grocery stores now have it online where you can look at the cost of their items. So especially like some of this, not the real small ones, but a lot of the chains. So I know Kroger does it, Meijer may do it, I can imagine that Hy-Vee does it. That those grocery stores allow you to pre-shop, and so you can, instead of having to sit in the store, you can sit while you're watching a television show, and during commercials you can look at, like, oh, this such and such is on sale, or this type of cream of mushroom soup is cheaper than that one, so you're not standing in the aisle looking. And I love that. And so when we would do that previously, I would do up my menu for the week, and I would have all my things that I needed to buy, and I would look at the final cost of it, and I'd be like, oh, I've overspent, even though before I've gone to the grocery store, I've overspent by X amount of dollars. I'm going to have to change what I fix. And that's just, if you're being tight on a budget, that's just part of what you do, and it's so much easier to do that in your house on those apps than waiting until you get into the store and you're like ringing stuff up and going, oh, this isn't going to work. So now on grocery day, I would say my biggest tip is to make sure that you eat. Before you go, don't be hungry. Don't be thirsty. Don't be hungry. Don't be tired. So be well rested. If you're one of those people that likes to wander around with a coffee, get a coffee. Wander around with it, but don't go in there hungry, don't go in there angry, because it just makes the whole experience that much harder. Because as soon as you like have that kind of attitude, you're going through your list and you like realize, oh, I forgot such and such on this aisle, and you have to turn back around and stock all over the place. And if you go when you're hungry, you always buy more. There's more impulse buys in that situation. And I try to shop the perimeter of the store. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but if you shop the perimeter, all of the basically non-processed food items are around the edge. So I'm just thinking of a grocery store that I go to that and this doesn't work at Aldi because they have their own thing going on. And here's another tip is that dairy is all the way in the back. In everybody's store, dairy is all the way in the back. So if you're just going in for milk, keep the blinders on. But so vegetables, the bakery, the meat products, the dairy products, and sometimes the frozen foods are all on the periphery of the store. And if you can get your list so that you're on the periphery, then you never have to go through the aisles. You don't have to wander up and down every aisle. If you need exercise, go get exercise. Don't make your grocery store trip up and down the aisles, that kind of thing. It is a trick. They want you to stay in the store. They want you to spend more money. But if you keep that concept of I want to stay on the edges, then it's going to be a lot less expensive for you, and you're going to eat better overall. That one of the reasons I don't promote coupons, it's not part of my shtick, is because coupons are hardly ever for fruits and vegetables and meat and dairy. Coupons are for food that has been processed and are convenient, and they need you to buy them with a discount, or else you're not going to, because you don't need those foods. So occasionally you can find coupons for other things, but for the most part it's almost all processed food. So I don't really promote a lot of couponing in regards to saving money. I've found that just doing the meal planning, just looking at the week and not throwing food away has saved a tremendous amount of money for us. All right, so another tip about the grocery store is that staples go in cycles in regards to sales. So if you keep track of it, you'll notice that, yes, they do have the fruit and veggies on the Kroger app. Like, it's all in there. But those things all, like, so dairy goes on, cheese specifically, goes on a cycle sale. So things that you know that you buy a lot of, they'll cycle through certain parts of it if it goes on sale, and it will happen on a regular basis. So laundry detergent goes on sale on a regular basis. All the different household products have a cycle that they go on to, and if you start to pay attention, you'll know when that cycle is about to happen, and you can bulk buy. That's exactly right, Sheena. That when you see that, like, such and such. So if you have somebody who will not eat any other kind of cereal besides Cheerios, and it's Cheerios or nothing, and they have to have it, then you just need to find out when Cheerios goes on sale and then stock up. And I would say if you're buying something like that, then that's when the coupon comes in handy, because then you're getting that double bonus. So, yeah. And then the other part of that is that grocers also do cycle sales. So my grocer, every time I go in there on Wednesday afternoon, because I buy my meat at our local grocer because they have a butcher on site, every time I go in there on Wednesday, there's always meat marked down. And there's always some produce marked down. And so I know that if I go in on Wednesday, that my chances of getting $1 off or $2 off whatever meat that I'm buying is a high probability. And then you can, if you're not able to use it right then, you can freeze. I don't know of any meat that you can't freeze. A lot of times I just take it and whatever packaging it's already in from the grocery store and just slide it right in the freezer. If I bought it in a big container, then I will just ration it out into smaller groupings so that I can store it in there. But so every store has that. Every store has they can't keep a lot of those fresh foods forever, and if they're not going to sell, they mark them down. And that's how I got the strawberries the other day. I bought 6 packs of strawberries. They were $1.29, which meant that I spent about $4 for 6 packs of strawberries. And that's just amazing because they were all delicious. They've made delicious jam now, and it's just a matter of knowing what you're capable of. Like if I had had that day where I didn't have the time to do it, I would have to left them there because I wouldn't have been able to take care of it. But because I knew my schedule, I knew that I could buy them and deal with them before they went bad. So once you get home, put everything away. And I keep a special shelf, though it doesn't always come out this way because Hannah, our daughter, she does the putting away the dry goods. And I have it in my mind that there's a special place that those go. But I have a shelf that I reserve for what's being eaten that week. So there's a shelf that has staples on it, and there's a shelf that has snacks, and there's a shelf that has, this is what food we're going to eat this week. And I keep it there so that I can find it all quickly when it comes time for dinner. And if somebody else is going to help me, I can tell them, oh, it's on such and such shelf. So yeah, that's pretty much that. So I have the worksheets. I was going to show you those. So this is the recipes worksheet. And I love these questions up here. So up here. So what's on hand, what's on sale, and what's going on. Those are the things that you have to figure out. You have to know, what do you have on hand? So if you did that bulk buying, do you have beef in the freezer? And in that case, you don't have to buy it again. If you've bought a lot of something, then if you even if you skipped a meal, can you just put that meal back into this week somewhere? And I do that a lot. So when I don't eat a meal, if we decide, oh, we're going to go out to eat instead of eating one night, that means that meal will just get pushed into the next week. I'll put the meat into the freezer if I need to, and then I just have it all, or I'll even use it in a new way. So within this, I'm trying to see where my fingers are. So here we are. There we go. So the recipe, you can write down the recipe idea, how much time you're going to need for it, and then just write down all the ingredients in the list so that, quarter cup of whatever, and then some possible sides. And then I have this down here, where to find. I am terrible, and anyway, I'm terrible about remembering where I saw a recipe. So I've added this. This is for me. This where to find thing is, okay, it's in such and such cookbook. It's on such and such table for Pinterest. It's on such and such website. So all of that right there, that right there is the where to find, is so you remember where the recipe's from, whether it's from a friend or whatever. So once you have all of this, you can look at what ingredients you need, and you can start to combine them. So if you need a quarter cup of something, then you know that how much you need to buy. And then you can just take all of those ingredients and you put them on the list. And you can also keep the list on your refrigerator and add things as you need them if you want to. So I have this divided into very basic groupings. So, the fruits and and this is pretty much the perimeter of the store, except for this canned goods stuff. The fruits and vegetables, the dairy, the meats, the frozen foods, the baked goods or other. And I say that we spend $100. That's not just what we spend on food. That's what we spend on the entirety of the household. So that includes, toilet paper. It includes paper towels when we buy those. It includes shampoo and all of that. So that money includes all of those things. It includes snacks, and for the most part, we eat leftovers, or we buy simple things for lunch. Lunch is not that big of a thing. We will buy some breakfast food items, but for the most part, that's all included within that amount that we spend. It's not $100 on 7 dinners for 3 people. It's for all of the living expenses within our house. All right, so do you guys have any questions? I'll just show you this. So, Sheena, you're here, and you're the only one I've seen that's live, so you're going to get one of these. I've got the cute little, but I also have, hold on a second, let me get it. I have a lemon, and I have a soccer ball as well. Okay, so the printables are in the group. If you type, I'll add them, add the links to them within this. So, yeah. So all of those pieces of paper that I had today, including kind of the recap of what the meal planning system is, the recipes, the shopping, plus I have on there, I didn't print it out, it's just a blank 30-day calendar, so if you wanted to do something more than a week, you could plan out that whole week and you could see what you've done for the month. So, Sheena, which one did you want? Or you can text me. So there's a little grocery cart, that's another grocery cart. There's a lemon, and there's a soccer ball for you to choose from. So, yeah. It's one of those things that you can get the whole family. And that's something that I do before I plan the meals, after I've looked at the schedule. When I'm planning the meals, I ask the entire house, is there anything that you want to eat this week? And they get to put their input in. And so if they don't like the meals, I'm like, well, you had your opportunity to say what you wanted and you didn't. So what am I supposed to do with that? Yeah, so it does. It allows everybody to kind of say, hey, you know, I'd like to try. And I think it also, for me, allows me to say, well, I can try something new. Because if I know that I have 6 standard, everybody loves them meals, I can definitely do one that's kind of crazy and no one's ever had before, and I'm not sure if it's going to work out. And that's kind of what I do. I try and keep it to one brand new meal every week. Not every week, but if there's going to be one. I don't do like a whole week's worth of new meals, because then there's kind of a mutiny that happens. So if you have any questions, feel free to text me and to let me know. I hope that you have enjoyed learning about meal planning. And I would say that it's been one of those things that has really made a difference in our family, because it's allowed us to spend more time together, but it's also allowed us to spend our money the way that we want to spend our money, as opposed to being forced, because of our choices, to spend extra money on food that somebody else has prepared. So yeah, I mean, and we do go out to eat, but when we go out to eat, it's because we plan to, not because we were forced to or there was nothing else to eat. So I'm really looking forward to what we're going to get to do in this group, and to sharing meal plans with each other and different recipes. And all the recipes that I share, I've made personally, and I don't know if I have 365 different recipes, but that's a real possibility, because like I said, we've been cooking together for the past 17 years, so we'll see. And there's always new ones joining the rotation. So, all right, well, you guys have a great day. I hope that you enjoy your meal planning, and I will talk with you later.